All right, guys, welcome back. EYL, we on the West Coast.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that's going to be a very exciting, legendary situation. Something I've actually been looking forward to for a while. So first, I got to shout out his brother, but my brother as well, Chris Gotti.
Yeah. Legend.
I met Chris. Everybody knows the story. And ever since we met, we always tapped in. And Chris, one of the best storytellers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. I told Angie that, and she was like, Irv is a better storyteller than Chris.
That's the first thing she said. Have you heard Irv's stories? Because he's way, like, his stories are immaculate.
Andrew and Martina?
Yeah. So Irv Gotti really needs no introduction, but pioneer in the space, but somebody who's been able to reinvent himself. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. So obviously, one of the biggest music moguls, Murder Inc., and then actually transitioned to the media side with Tales, Killing the Game.
TV.
And recently changed the game again when he sold his masters for $100 million. So there's actually a lot to talk about because that masters conversation is really, really exciting, prevalent. A lot of people have different takes on it. I think Future just sold his masters.
Yeah, we keep
Lil
seeing that. Lil Wayne did it. Future
John
just
Legend?
did it. John Legend has
I
done
think
it.
Future got like 60, 70.
What they say, yeah.
Justin Timberlake did
Justin
it.
Timberlake.
Yeah, we keep seeing it, but it's like, what does it really mean? Like,
And
what's
how's
the
it
details?
happening, all the details and all that.
Yeah.
So
What's it mean?
Yeah, I think like when people saw it, like they saw Timberlake do it, and obviously they saw Wayne
It means
do it.
we got a bag.
Well, that we know that. But people are just like, wait, huh? Why are they doing it? So this is going
Because
to be
of the bag.
because the bag.
that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have a dope conversation. But first and foremost, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Happy to be here. You guys is Jesus and Moses.
That's what they say. Word on the street.
Word on the streets is Jesus and Moses.
Word on the street, man. So let's start. I want to start with this. We might as well start with this. $100 million for selling your masters, right?
Yeah.
So walk us through that process because you told it to us when we first met. Is an interesting story how that even came about because that wasn't on your radar.
No.
So talk about how that was even on your radar. And
What was on my radar was making the film, and I needed $5 million to make a film. So I wanted to raise the money because the people I was asking that I thought would just loan me the $5 million was asking for 50% of my company
Real friends.
for $5 million.
Good friends.
I'm telling them this is going to be a multi-billion-dollar company. They give me $5 million. They want 50%. I was like, I'm not getting jerked, right? So people told me, they said, Irv, you got the money. Just use your masters as leverage. So that's what I did. I did a deal with this company called Sound Royalties, and they gave me $5 million. I had to give them a big interest rate. I had to pay them back like $6 million.
$6 million for $5 million?
Yeah.
It's like a loan shark.
Yeah, it was Shylock.
40%.
It was Shylock.
100. That's 110%.
100%. Yeah,
It was Shylock rates,
That's
definitely. But I didn't care because I had a situation set up with Paramount and Bob Backish that I felt very strong that if I made the movie for $5, I would get back $7 to $10. So if you know me, once I want to do something, I'm doing it, right? There's no looking back. I got tunnel vision. I don't give a fuck. I'm going. So basically, when I did that, the word got out that I'm doing shit with my masters. Zach Horowitz, great friend of mine, he was the COO of the Universal Music Group. And he called me and he's like, Irv, you want to sell your masters? I said, well, I borrowed money against it. I ain't sell them. He said, but do you want it? I said, well, if the price is right, I said, I want to make TV and film and I want to own it. I want to have the money to pay for it, to own it. He said, there's this guy, Olivier Chaston. He pays the most for masters. And he plugged me with him. As soon as I met Olivier, it was like a love fest. And he gave me like 27x. He gave me a big multiple for my masters. So I took the deal and took the money, right? Then where he got his money from, or the company that he's partnered with, is this company called PIMCO. PIMCO.
Giant financial firm.
Giant. So he put me on to Ben Frischman. So we sitting there at a meeting. You know, they buying my masters. So Ben was like, "So why are you selling your masters? If he said, if I could ask you." And I said, "Well, I'm selling my past to ignite my future." I said, "I want to pay for my own TV series, pay for my own films, so I could own it 100% and build that catalog up just how I built my music catalog." He said, "Well, I'll give you $200 million."
Casually speaking.
To which I'm like, you know, coming from where I come from, the nigga say he giving you $200 million. So my immediate response was like, "So what you want, like 50% of my company? Or 80%? He's like, "Nah, I don't want nothing." He said, "I just want whatever money that you borrow from me, pay me back 8%. I said, "That's it?" He said, "That's it." I couldn't believe it. The man was offering me a $200 million line of credit and didn't want a percentage of my company. So he said, "You know, you don't have to spend that 100 for your masters." He's like, "We'll give you the money to make your product." I said, "Cool." So, you know, it's really a dope story, because it's a story of, it fell in my lap.
So
The story, I mean, the way you tell it, and like I said, when we first met, you actually, you know, gave us a breast to it, but it feels like how's this even happening? How unbelievable is this? Can you talk about the contrast into the industry that you came from, where deals weren't structured like that, where
Oh,
people
no.
just trying to like take advantage?
Where I came from, if a nigga offered me $200 million, he probably wanted 99% of my company.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, so the whole process of what happened, I got to give it up to God. And God just blessed me, because I can't explain it.
So let's break this down a little bit, because you said a 27x multiple. So this is important for people to understand, because a lot of times people aren't fully educated. So they like, yo, they're looking at music like, don't sell your music because you're not going to have a legacy for your children. But when we were in London, DJ, he explained it to us. I never really thought about it like this. He was like, it's like a startup company. Like when Elon Musk sells PayPal for $200 million, nobody criticizes him for doing that, because he used that money to fund SpaceX and Tesla.
Yep.
And now he's the richest person in the world. He's about to be a trillionaire. So he was like, you could look at a music catalog just like that. It's like you selling a company. For us, a liquidation event, you get a lump sum of money as opposed to getting residual amount of money. And now that lump sum.
It's do you take the 100 or do you take $4 million a year for 30 years?
It's like the lottery, exactly.
Yeah.
Which one do you take?
Yeah, the key is to have these liquidations.
And here's the thing: if I'm retiring, maybe the $4 million is good, but I'm not retiring. In my mind, I got other things that I'm trying to do where I could use that 100. But look, doing that deal for the 100, it bounced into the 200.
Mm-hmm.
And then so the 200, that's a line. So the same company, the 100 is upfront. They gave it to you. That's money in the bank. The 200 is a line of credit. Essentially, it's like a credit card.
I ain't got to use my 100.
When you use the 200, as long as you get an 8%.
I just, when I said, I told you, Tails Latin. So Olivia is like, he's like, how much is it going to be? I said, maybe $2 million in that, $20 million. He's going to give it to me.
Yeah.
And that'll be part of probably the line of credit, $20 million, which I got to give him back 8%.
Yeah,
But
let's talk
that's
about
fine,
that.
because once I make it, I'm going to sell it for more to a streaming company. And then, but I own it now. I own it.